Good morning, boys and girls. Today is day 18, Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Now, from day 18, we have day 19, day 20, and day 21. So we have 3 days left, which will put our chickens starting to hatch around Sunday night. I wanted to try to plan it that way so that as they hatch over the night, we may see one or two pipping and zipping the next morning when you guys come into school on Monday morning. How exciting. So today, let's do a very quick review, and I'm just going to flip through these slides of all the vocabulary words and the development of the embryo that you guys have had for the first 17 days. Can you believe it? It's been a very quick journey, hasn't it? Because it does include Saturday and Sunday. They don't stop growing over the weekend. And so it's just 3 full weeks that it takes for a chicken to fully develop. Now, here's our words for today on day 18. Today's a pretty important day as far as the incubator, and tomorrow as well, because we're going to be changing the humidity level inside the incubator, and we're going to be taking the eggs out of the shelves. So we're going to walk over and look at that in just a minute, but let's look at what has happened. On day 18, the growth of the embryo is nearly complete. Remember, this picture is a little bit off because he should be facing down. This is where the air sac is on the fat side of the egg, and so he's just about cramped up in there. I found one egg this morning where you can still see inside, so I'm going to show you that in just a minute on the incubator. Our 2 words that we're going to talk about today are temperature and humidity. Let's start with temperature. Temperature is the measurement of how hot or cold something is. So when we talk about the temperature outside, we're talking about, is it hot outside or is it cold outside? What is the temperature? Now, we usually keep our temperature in the classroom around 70 degrees. Sometimes when you go out and it starts getting hot outside, it may be closer to 80 degrees. In the summertime here in Georgia, it can get close to 100 degrees. But at school, most of the time, it ranges around 80 degrees outside. In the cool seasons, like in the spring and in the fall and in the winter time, especially here at school, we can have temperatures as low as 30. We usually don't go too much below that here in Georgia. So the temperature is how hot or how cold something is. Do you remember what the temperature has been set to inside the incubator all this time for the first 18 days? Think about that. We're going to look at it more when we go over there to the incubator. So the temperature is the measurement of how hot or how cold something is. The machine that measures the temperature is called the thermometer. You probably have one of those in your house. If you've ever seen your mom or dad walk over to the wall and touch a button or move something around to make it either hotter or colder inside your house, that is the thermostat or the thermometer that is measuring the temperature in the house. And then the temperature is actually the measurement of how hot or how cold something is. So we say it's 80 degrees or it's 70 degrees. That's the temperature. Your body's temperature is 98.6. Today we're going to also be talking about humidity. Humidity is another juicy vocabulary word that would be great to use in your writing today. Humidity means the amount of water that is in the air. So you know how when it's really hot outside, especially in Georgia, really hot, you walk outside and about 5 minutes later, your skin feels wet because you have started sweating so much from being outside. That kind of shows you that's your body's way of regulating your temperature. But sometimes you walk outside and you can just feel it in the air. You can just feel a lot of wet moisture in the air. That is what humidity is. That's why we have a water bottle attached to our incubator. So what I'm going to do, I've left most of the lights off in the classroom today. I'm going to turn off this last one, and we're going to take a look inside that one egg I wanted to show you. Look at the temperature of our incubator right now, 99.5, and our goal has been to keep the humidity level, that's how much water is going into the air inside, how hot and sticky the air is, between 50 and 55%. We're going to change that when this number hits 3. And because it still says 4, like yesterday was day 17 and we said we had 4 days left. It depends exactly on what time I put the eggs in the incubator. So exactly 24 hours to when I put the eggs in is when that number is going to change to 3. So probably this afternoon or tonight, I will go ahead and take these eggs out of these sleeves and put them down on the bottom of the incubator, which is what you do on day 3. On day 3, we make several changes. We turn the humidity from 50 to 55 up to between 65 and 70%. So we're going to add a lot more water into the air. That's what happens in the natural environment. Underneath the mama hen, her body and all that sweat and moisture and humidity becomes very hot and sticky in the last 3 days, day 19, 20, and 21. And so that's what we're trying to emulate. We're trying to make our incubator be as much like what's underneath the mama hen, what's actually happening there, as we can, okay? So let me get out one of these eggs that I wanted to show you. I'm gonna pop the phone up right there just a minute if it will stay. And I'm going to take this one in the back, which is a little bit smaller. I'm not sure if that's why we can still see through it, but all the rest of them, we really can't see through them. And this one is the one that I was able to see something through. So I'm going to turn the light off in the room and turn that button on for our flashlight. And see, when I look inside all the other eggs, this light spot right there is completely filled in. You can't see anything. But on this one, you still can. Can you see the embryo moving inside? So what we're looking for, like we have the whole time, is we can see the blood vessel system inside there. We can see this beautiful air sac down at the bottom. These little marks on the top are the dirt on top of the egg. But let's see if we can see his body moving. I'm gonna move him around a little bit. See if we can still see him. Now remember, this is unusual to get to see on day 18. So I'm glad this one is still kind of light enough for us to see what's happening on the inside. But see how most of it is dark and black all the way around, and then we've got this one spot right here where we can still see, oh, look at him jumping and moving all around. Did you see that? I'm gonna shake him up just a little bit and see if he'll move for us this morning. This is so exciting to get to see them when they're this big. Normally we don't get to do that. Normally the best time to candle is day 10, 11, 12, not up until day 18, but look how big he is now. We can see him jumping and moving all around. How exciting. Let me turn him sideways. See if you can find a feather down, a wing or down feathers or a beak. See what you can make out. It's so exciting, isn't it? And isn't it just fantastic that they have everything that they need inside this tiny little fragile egg? Everything they need to develop and to grow. Look at him. Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to let you keep watching him, but I'm going to talk to you just a minute about the changes we're going to make on the incubator, okay? We are going to raise the humidity level up to between 65 and 70%. And how we're going to do that is by taking a full bottle of water and pouring it into the bottom of the incubator. So when we stop turning the eggs, we're going to take all those yellow sleeves out. I'm going to turn it off now so you can see what I'm talking about. We're going to take all these yellow sleeves out, and we are going to see that grate down there at the bottom. We're going to take that grate up, and we're going to pour a full bottle of water into the bottom of the incubator. And then we're going to put that grate back down, and we're going to lay all these eggs on top, and we're going to open up this vent all the way open like this. It's almost all the way open now, isn't it? This is where we had to put it to get between 50 and 55%. We're going to open it up all the way tonight, tomorrow, and for the next 3 days to get our humidity level up to between 65 and 70. So we're going to take that grate out. We're going to pour water down in the bottom. We're going to take the sleeves out, set the eggs down on the bottom of the incubator, and then watch this humidity level raise up to between 65 and 70, and then the turning is going to stop. We're not going to be turning them anymore. They're just going to lay there on the bottom of the incubator for the next 3 days until they start to hatch. Today is day 18. We have 3 days left. How exciting!